Today, I wanted to share some tips on how you can make painting your dominant hand as easy as possible. So the first tip is that you want to have your wrist as well as your hand rested firmly onto a table or some type of flat surface because this will give you more stability when you actually go to paint your nail. So the second tip I have is you want to make sure that you are not applying or that you do not have too much product on the actual brush, whether that's base coat, top coat, color coat, whatever it is that you're using, because what's going to happen is that it's going to be way easier for you to flood the cuticles and the sidewalls, and you're not going to feel as in control with the amount of polish if you have too much of it on the brush. The next tip I would have is that especially with your dominant hand, because let's be real, your dominant hand is more prone to your nails chipping, things like that, because you use your dominant hand more so than you would your non-dominant hand. And so one of the ways that you can prevent the chipping, especially with your dominant hand, is making sure that you let your nail polish dry thoroughly in between each layer, because that will not only prevent bubbles, but it will prevent your nail polish from chipping as easily. Now, I would definitely recommend keeping your nail polish layers thin. And yes, I was aware that there was a hair on the nail there. I did not see it until afterwards. And keeping the nail polish layer thin will also prevent you from flooding your cuticles. If you need to go back into the bottle to get more product, you can. I'm just showing how I'm holding the brush here as well. So another little hopefully helpful tip would be don't rely on just your your non-dominant hand nails to help maneuver the nail polish brush. You know, you want to make sure that you are turning your dominant hand nail, to like the side. If you need to get into the side there, like I'm doing, you can always pull your dominant hand nail away from the brush to help get an even application. Basically, what I would do is I'd recommend trying multiple different ways of painting your nails on your dominant hand and just seeing which one works best for you. Now, when you go to paint your dominant hand nails, you most likely will get nail polish on your skin, and that's okay because practice makes perfect. So what I would recommend is just having a cleanup brush next to you. I will be honest, with my dominant hand nails, I do need a cleanup brush, but on this particular day, I was actually quite proud of myself that I did not need a cleanup brush. But there are days when I definitely do. But keep in mind, practice makes perfect. So lastly, you want to make sure that you are adding a top coat. And again, like I said about the amount of product on the brush, you want to make sure that you are not flooding your cuticles and your sidewalls, because it's just going to be more difficult for you to clean up. I would definitely recommend using a fast drying top coat on your dominant hand, because I feel like when you go to paint your nails, and I do this all the time, sometimes you feel like you're like, oh, my nails are dry because it's, you know, thin layers, etc., and then you accidentally bump them. So I would definitely make sure that you use a fast drying top coat. It's not going to prevent every single little nick and dent that you can do to your nails, but it does help your nails dry faster, reducing the risk of that happening. I will have everything linked below, and I hope that this video was helpful, and that is it for today's video.